it's investing in your future for your faith, which requires you to ask those questions I asked you at the beginning. Where did you make your money? How did you make your money? That's the past, was. Because that glorified God. What are you doing with your money right now? What is the you're doing with your money? And then ask the question, how is your investment now going to affect your faith in the future? Ask every child those questions, and it gets them thinking, I gotta be a little bit more attentive to the fact that usually when I think of money, it's very much for selfish gain rather than for a higher purpose, something that can actually glorify God. But then I always got to remind people, where did you even get that money and that job in the first place? It came from God. We return it to God. God gives it back to us. We give it back to God. And in that process, we're sharing that grace with others. So it begins with an honest conversation, and it can't come from the priest because, frankly, some priests don't know what they're doing with money. I mean, how many of them have taken business and finance classes? Very few. So get yourself out of your pews, make your offering to help the priest with the finance council, be fiscally responsible, and think of innovative ways to make money. And more importantly, make sure that the product is worth the money that they're putting in. I think of this story of like this family coming out of church and they're all complaining. The dad was like, that priest was so boring. And the wife was like, my gosh, the music was horrible. And the one son was like, and that altar server didn't even know what they were doing. And they asked the last kid, they said, what did you think of church? And the kid said, it wasn't bad for $2. The vow of poverty is a very misunderstood thing. Guess who vows poverty the most? Guess who vows poverty the most? Parents. They're the poorest people I know because all their money goes to their kids who do nothing, and yet they get everything. How much are braces? How much is school education? How much is like going to the doctor? And what do the parents get out of it? All their work is for a higher purpose, a future investment. And so we just have to have an honest conversation about those things, hopefully in a more fun, dynamic way, as opposed to a third collection at church today, you know?